If you run your own business remotely or want to, have you thought about running it from somewhere else in the world? That is what we're doing right now. In fact, time of filming, I'm in Australia. I hope you can tell from my backdrop. We spend about half the year here and half the year in the UK. We are actually living out our dream, so I thought I'd come on and discuss what is better, Australia or UK, for entrepreneurs and actually running a business. So let's start with the pros and cons for the UK. Pros for me is where a lot of my friends and family are. And Andy's Australian, so a lot of his friends and family are in Australia, and I'd say obviously we're going to be biased towards that. Being an entrepreneur can be super isolating. You don't have that same in-office experience. It's really hard to meet people if you don't know anyone already, because you realize that you actually meet a lot of people through work. So obviously that's like slightly different experiences. If you're moving to a completely new country and know no one, that can be really difficult, and you have to really put yourself out there to kind of meet new people. So you're always going to be a bit biased towards, you know, your home country and where your support network is based. We are based in London when we are in the UK, and there are so many opportunities for entrepreneurs over there. You could go to an event every day of the year, I'm sure, whether that's networking, a conference, or just a general meetup. There are so many opportunities out there, and a lot of them are free as well. So I'd say that because our business is based in the UK, a lot of the opportunities are there as well. And also, public transport is better in the UK than Australia, especially in London. You can get anywhere without having a car, whereas in Australia, you really need to have a car to get around. And then some cons for the UK: weather, the light. January, February, nobody likes January in the UK, and February isn't much better. And especially if you come back from Australia to the UK in January, oof, yeah, not good. So moving on to Australia, wow, there are so many pros for this country in general. The lifestyle, the beaches, surfing. Like if you're an active person, both Andy and myself are really active. That's why we love this country so much, because it does feel like a really active country. The food is also really nice. I would say the food is really expensive, but it is really good. So just in general, it's a great country to be in. I did some backpacking here for my gap year and really enjoyed it. So I always wanted to come back and do a longer stint here. And I'd say in general, our lifestyle is much better here compared to the UK, and it's probably a weather thing. I mean, look at it behind me, it's beautiful today. We're up in Queensland at the moment, and that's consistently lovely weather up here. So I think it definitely helps. And the kind of daylight hours that in the UK during winter are really tough to deal with. But from a business perspective, it can be good, it can be bad. So obviously it's just kind of what you make of it, and it is harder in terms of the time difference. We have a UK-based team, so our 9 AM team call is 6 p.m. up in Queensland at the moment, but down where we are most of the time in Melbourne can be as much as 8 p.m, which that makes it really hard for us to switch off at night. But it is just kind of a shift in balance of our lifestyle. So it means that our mornings are more about our time. You know, we get up, we exercise, we have more of a chilled morning than we would normally do in the UK. So it's just kind of a different lifestyle. So in general, it is harder to manage the team. There's less team time, but there's a few things that we do to manage the team remotely that really help with this. We prioritize team time over anything else. So it does mean we're saying no to a lot more calls, and I quite like this boundaries that we're setting. We have such a small window of time between Australia and the UK to be able to talk to our team, so we will always prioritize the team over anyone else. And that means we're saying no to a lot of sales call, pushing people to email as much as possible, because I go back to them and say, hey, like I'm in Australia, like I just don't have time for a call at the moment, it's not going to work, can you send me an email? And that usually pushes it to email, and we can get through something quite quick on email. I don't know about you, but I hate it when you take a meeting and it could have been an email. It feels like such a waste of time. So I actually find this as a massive plus, because it means you're just setting your boundaries better. We use Notion all the time. Everything in the team now is in Notion, and I would say that we weren't using it last year, and we've already noticed a huge difference this year in terms of like the team knowing their priorities and understanding what's next and what's going on in the team. And it's easier for us to kind of document everything as well. We have this amazing Kanban board where we have everything that's going on in the team and the priorities. Andy's actually doing a piece of work at the moment where we're building it out for Bear Kind to the best possible standard, knowing that it's working, and then we're going to build it into a template for you guys to use in your own business. So stay tuned for that one. And speaking of what is coming, we talk about our like longer term strategy of like the next few months more in advance than we normally would. So when we know we're coming out to Australia, we kind of speak with the team in the longer term, so they understand what's coming up and what's expected of them. And this really helps with the planning. It really helps with the team really knowing what's next on the agenda. So if they come stuck with something during their daytime when we're asleep, they know what's next. So they know that they can pause that until we're awake and then start working on something else. So we should never have the point where they can't do anything because we're asleep, because they should always know what the next thing is. But the time difference thing is also amazing for productivity. So we have found that because the UK is asleep, so right now it's just gone 2 p.m. where I am, the UK is asleep. I've got no incoming emails, Slacks, WhatsApps, anything going on, and you know, my mind knows that the UK is asleep as well, so I don't have that pull to go and check my phone and see if someone's replied to me, because I know they won't know if they're asleep. So actually for deep focused work, we get so much more done in Australia than we do in the UK. It's really amazing, and we try and replicate this back when we're in the UK, so we'll have blocked off calendar time. We won't look at our phones in the morning, we'll lock them away, we'll put them in a different room, notifications are switched off, I'll only check email once a day, things like that really help replicate this. But just every day in Australia we have so much deep work, and we're just really enjoying just, you know, getting shit done every day. So yeah, a few like different pros and cons there. I think we're really making it work and we're really enjoying the lifestyle. But I actually want to talk about how we're physically making this work. First thing is actually having the legal ability to do this. So we both have British passports, so we can come and go from the UK as we please. Andy's an Australian citizen by birth, and I have permanent residency via Andy on the partner visa. So it's a pretty good setup we've got going on. But there are other ways you can achieve this. So there is actually a massive list of countries that are now offering digital nomad visas at either a really low cost or no cost, because they want to bring entrepreneurs into their countries and like contribute to the local economy. I really recommend looking at the latest list of countries that are offering the digital nomad visa, and you might surprise yourself in finding a country that you hadn't thought of that you could just go to, you know, for a month, 2 months at a time. It doesn't have to be permanent, it doesn't have to be 6 months at a time, it could just be a month. But if you have the ability to work remotely and work abroad, what an amazing thing to be able to do. So I really recommend giving it a try. It could be that you go on a holiday and then you work for the rest of it. So it's just a really good opportunity to make the most of your travel time. So the $1 million question is, which is better, the UK or Australia? If we're talking sport, it's the UK, and Andy isn't here to disagree with me, so the UK wins on that one. But for lifestyle, it's Australia that wins by a country mile, sorry UK. But for our business, being based in the UK, obviously the UK is better for the business overall, but we're choosing to make it work. This is the lifestyle we're choosing. We want to start spending more time in Australia, so we are making it work. When we are in the UK, we are absolutely making the most of those opportunities. And each time we kind of leave and come back, it's getting easier. We're kind of learning how to work as a team better. Third parties understand what we're doing and where we are like half the year. So we've actually found that this time around, it has been easier coming out to Australia than it was last time. So the first time we did it, I don't think people really got it. People didn't understand that. They thought we were just on holiday. So I think this time around it has been a lot easier, and I'm sure it will get easier each time we do it. The answer really is we're getting the best of both worlds. We get to spend more time in Australia, but we also get to spend time in the UK with friends and family in Australia as well, of course. So we see everyone. We still get the opportunities for the business in the UK. We get to live an incredible lifestyle and just do these awesome things. And it's just amazing that running the business in this way has given us the opportunity to do this. I really recommend trying it. Doesn't have to be permanent, as I said. Maybe you'll just try it and not like it, and then know that you can just go home, but you might get the travel bug and decide there's loads of different places that you want to see. The main thing is that we have complete choice over our situation right now, and we're really enjoying the flexibility. So we're going to keep doing it whilst we can. So if you are thinking of working abroad and have any questions, let us know in the comments. Also, if you've ever worked from abroad in a really cool place that you want to recommend, let us know. We're always looking for another opportunity. There's other countries that we want to work in outside of Australia and the UK as well. If you enjoyed this video, please drop us a like. Subscribe for weekly content about growing a business abroad and in general, and I will see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, please drop us a like and subscribe for weekly content business abroad and in general, and you can learn from us as we do that. Huzzah!